What is up, my peeps? Whoops, I pushed a button too many times. Technical difficulty, sorry about that. What is going on? It is the live stream lounge, just 2 days after the 24-hour live stream lounge. I'm not sick. My voice is still a little jacked from talking for over 24 hours straight, standing for 27 hours straight. But wow, that was such a good time. And thank you so much. The Kickstarter funded almost just under 6.5 times over. That's amazing. And the whole experience was awesome and fun. So I wanted to have just kind of an informal live stream lounge today. So James isn't here, no special guest. It's just me and you. And we're going to dive deep into the Kickstarter itself. And some of you might be interested just out of curiosity, or some of you might be interested in putting your own project together and interested in some tips about Kickstarter. You may have some questions. And so I kind of wanted to go under the hood and go over some of the secrets, some of the successful things that happened, some of the not so successful things that happened. And I thought you guys might enjoy that. Next week, we'll be back to having guests, and we have a really cool special guest next week, not related to Aladdin 3477, but I think for those of my followers that are creative and have a career in art, or honestly anything, filmmaking, music, whatever it is, you're definitely going to be interested in the topic next week. I'll be bringing that up soon. Before we get started, though, I'm going to make myself a drink today, not alcoholic. I know this probably looks like a beer from far away. I can't stand the taste of beer, despite Busch being my last name. But I picked these up. I was going to try this on the live stream tonight, but I couldn't wait. I'll be totally honest. Earlier today, my girlfriend and I had some of this because we love, if you've ever been to Universal Studios in the Harry Potter Hogwarts area, that's probably not what it's called. It's the alley, it's the Harry Potter area. They have butter beer, and it's so good. It's so delicious. So I found a 4-pack of this knockoff butter beer, and it's called Butterscotch beer, and it's Flying Cauldron instead of Harry Potter on his little broom. And it's non-alcoholic, though. I had one earlier today. It was delicious, and so I thought I would share the experience with you guys while we go over things today. And I'm drinking it out of a vintage ET glass. I thought, although this is nice and cold, sometimes I like my drinks really cold, and a little bit of ice is nice. And I collect these vintage glasses from the 80s. I just spilled. I do it almost every time, and I did it today. But these vintage glasses, they used to be from Burger King. This one's from Pizza Hut. This ET glass. One of the things I love about these collectibles so much, I loved them as a kid, and today they look as legit, like they haven't faded. It's probably lead paint is probably why it lasts so long. But even when you put them in the dishwasher, they look just as brand new as they did 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Oh, geez. But I love these so much. And as much as I love the butter beer, now that it's in an ET phone home glass, oh yeah. Oh yeah. That is delicious. We're going to get to your comments real soon. But first, as usual, even though it's a party of one, we do have to get the party started. I got that up there. Okay. All right, so let's get the party started. We're talking Kickstarters, and again, I can't thank you guys enough. Funded 6 times over. The entire experience was amazing. The 24-hour live stream, a lot of people are asking me, how do you do it? Honestly, it wasn't really difficult to do at all, because there were many times during filming that I was up well over 24 hours. There's been times where I've had certain deadlines since filming where I've been up well over 24 hours. There were times where I was up for over 48 hours. That wasn't often, but there were times that like 2.5 days or almost 2.5 days, and I was a zombie, but it might have been like a power. We had 2 days in a row, and we had like a location where we only had these 2 days. And there were so many things that I had to have ready on time. And then there were new things I had to have ready for the next day. And it was rough. But again, sometimes I talk about these filming experiences like, oh, poor me, I had to do this and I had to do that. No, it was amazing. I was making my dreams come true, working on my magnum opus. I had friends and family that were helping me. So I always wanted to lead by example. And anytime there was something I was able to do, I wanted to make it so whenever I was asking for favors, it was because I really, really needed someone's help. And it wasn't something that I wanted to take advantage of people or overstay my welcome kind of thing. And it's just the whole experience has been awesome. And we are on the brink of Aladdin 3477's release. So I wanted to chat about the Kickstarter. I have some fun things to share with you. Real quick, though, I wanted to do a quick recap of kind of what the Kickstarter was all about. For those of you maybe watching this for the first time, I'm going to go through this real quick. I wanted to share also some of the things we unveiled during the 24-hour live stream in case you missed it. So let's kind of go through some of this stuff real quick. So obviously we had the 24-hour live stream lounge for Aladdin 3477. Of course, the Kickstarter was for the motion picture trilogy, but really this is kind of amping up to the first film's release, The Djinn of Wisdom. And already, I told you, if you didn't get in on the Kickstarter, this is what it would feel like. There already have been, not a dozen, but there's been at least a half dozen people that have contacted me saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe I had it saved. I was going to come back, or people that just didn't know about it at all, that missed the Kickstarter by a day or two, that have been messaging me. Is there any way that I can, get in on it? And there will actually be a backer kit that everyone's going to go through. And the backer kit won't have all of the Kickstarter reward tiers or even all of the add-ons, but there will be a lot. And there will be some new options for those of you that have gone through Kickstarter. For example, you'll be able to choose which Fiji pin that you want, or if you want to get both of them, you'll be able to choose which t-shirt that you want and what size. That I'm going to be building in the next week or two. So I'll let you guys know when that goes up. But I told you guys this is what it would be like, and sure enough, it was. The official trailer, over 2 million and climbing, featured music by Cell Dweller, the Peter Mayhew Foundation executive producer. So Peter Mayhew's name is attached to the movie. He's no longer with us, but it's just kind of this, my gosh, it's such an honor, and it's just such a neat thing. He was he loved my artwork, had almost every piece of Chewbacca artwork that I've ever done. And if he doesn't have something, it's because by contract, George Lucas got to choose it first. And I've done some things for the foundation that I did for free just because I wanted to help out. Never with the thought that they would return the favor and do something nice for me, and especially for my dream project, my magnum opus. So the fact that they reached out and that they want to have Peter Mayhew, the actor who played Chewbacca in 7 of the Star Wars films, just wow, that is just awesome. I'm just so honored by that. Super, super cool. So the way that the rewards go, although I'm going to talk about this real quick, just because We're going to talk about the Kickstarter and how I put it together and the way that it works. There are swag boxes, and you can get one that comes out in the spring. You can get two, so you get the one that comes out in the spring and then the summer. If you get three, you get spring, summer, and fall. And then if you get all four, all year round, you get a new swag box with new items in it. And so it's kind of like Aladdin 3477. It's 2023, but it's the year of 3477. I'm going to go through this real quick. I know a lot of you have kind of heard a lot of this, so I'm just going to go through the bullet points real quick. Plus, there are some new things that we unveiled on Friday. This is the first swag box. Of course, there is the official collector's edition. And most of this book is put together already. I'm going to be wrapping it up in the next few weeks and then get that off to the printers so that I can start shipping in April. Of course, there is the Aladdin minifig. These are the 2 Fiji pins. You get to choose one of these 5 shirts. There's the first thank you gift, Hong Kong Trooper. The second thank you gift, Deanna Sheehan design sticker sheet. All of that comes in the first swag box. And again, that's shipping in the spring. There is the second swag box, which comes with the movie poster, the Princess Kamala minifig, Fiji patch, an art print designed by yours truly. This also, we unveiled the new minifig. It's the 10th one. There are a total of 10 of these minifigs, and we unveiled what the new one is. I take that back. We unveiled 3 new ones, plus this one. This is the only one we can't show you what it looks like yet. Part of it is because it's a character we haven't even shown you yet on purpose. We've held back on showing you this character in the trailer. I want to save some things for the movie so that you have some surprises. I don't want to, show all my cards up front, as much as I know the more that I show, it makes the trailer even more exciting. But I really wanted to do the trailer in a way where when you go to see the film, it's not ruining the experience of the movie. Anyway, this new minifig is the Klepto King. The Klepto King is played by my buddy R. Wolf Baldassaro, and Wolf, it's actually his birthday today. So, man, happy birthday to Wolf. And Wolf is a trooper. He also is the very first person to have an Aladdin 3477 tattoo. Wolf, happy birthday, brother. Which I should probably open up the comments soon. But so this figure is going to come in the second swag box as well. You are going to get the Princess Kamala teaser poster. The Aladdin poster comes in the Aladdin's Inner Circle, because there's just over 100 of those left. And once they're gone, they are gone. Real quick, let's jump over to the comments. We got some people saying hello. All right. Hey, Matt and chat, and congrats again, David Van Dyke. Thank you so much. And it was great for those of you that watched the 24-hour live stream. David Van Dyke hung out with us almost the entire time. He had deadlines on a comic book cover and I think 3 pages total during the wee hours of the night. He had like a deadline in the morning and then another deadline during the day. So he hung out with us almost the entire time, which was great because he had something to kind of listen to in the background. So that was a lot of fun. And as well, James was able to pose for a Spider-Man piece that he was doing as well. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much. Rock and roll. PMK, hope you're recouping, my friend. What a wild ride that Kickstarter was. Absolutely. By the way, I should mention Paul Michael Kane has 4 items that are in that are in these swag boxes. There are 3 chapbooks, which we are going to be talking about soon. The first one comes out in April. And in addition to the 3 chapbooks, there is a very special print that is photographed by Paul Michael Kane, and it is really, really cool. It's probably going to be unexpected, but when you see it, I think you're going to think it's really, really neat. And it's going to be signed by Paul Michael Kane, signed by myself as well. The chapbooks are all going to be signed by Paul. And on the inside, I believe on the inside of the cover, there's going to be a metallic print. And I think he was telling me it's actually printed by Kodak, that does these special metallic prints that just have this superior printing quality, that just look amazing. It's like an HDR print. Can't wait for you guys to see that. We'll be sharing more of that coming up. I need more butterbeer. So I'm not sick, but because I was talking for like 27 hours straight, no joke, my voice just started to crack. And I've been teaching online as well, and so a lot of my feedback and working with students is through email, leaving comments, direct messages, sometimes leaving videos, but for the most part, everything that I do, and especially with the Kickstarter, there's all these interviews, but most of them were by email and just plugging everything on the phone a lot, but again, on the phone like this, not on the phone like this. So when suddenly out of nowhere, you're talking for 27 hours straight, oh my gosh, the voice. Mike Huston says, congrats on your successful campaign. Awesome. Thank you so much. Hogsmeade, that's right. 3 broomsticks specifically. Party Foul. E.T. Foam Home. Clever. Dave Todd. I like that. Hello, Matt and Craig. Congratulations, Justin. I'm glad you're watching because you're going to get the recap of some of the new things. Hello, that we went over. Mama Rick says 24-hour live stream was an awesome event. Hearing the backstory, seeing cast and crew sharing their perspectives and interacting with you and each other. So much fun. Well done, Matt. And, I'm glad you guys, a lot of you have responded to that, how great it is, like this family that we've created and how passionate everyone is about the project. It's just awesome. And again, this is advice that my mom gave me. I know I keep sharing it, but when I was a kid, the funny thing is my mom actually doesn't remember giving me this advice. So actually she doesn't remember, or I have a bad memory. I have this just magical quote that maybe I heard somewhere else, but it's in my imagination. It was from my mom. I know that it was from my mom. And that quote is, if you want to soar like an eagle, don't hang around turkeys. Another thing I should add with that is some people might take that to be that everywhere you go, you should, how can you climb up the ladder and surround yourself with people that are successful and drop the friends that maybe aren't successful and just always look for ways that you can climb up? That's actually not what I'm talking about. That's not it at all. In fact, that's in some cases, that's not good advice, because sometimes people that are more successful than you are sharks and you could get used. That's not always a pathway to success, but surrounding yourself around really, really good people that are in it to win it. And again, not just people that are going to help you. It's a two-way street. People that you can help, but people that are just accountable for what they say. People that are that have good morals. People that that are looking to be the best version of themselves. People that are going to help you become the best version of yourself. These are the kind of people that you want to surround yourself with. It actually has nothing to do with how fancy a car they drive, or how much money they make, or how much clout they have, how many friends they have on Instagram. It has nothing to do with that. If you can surround yourself with really good people, people that you can help and inspire, and people that can help and inspire you, that's it. You've just made an incredible, incredible family. That's the kind of family that you want to have. So that's what I like to do. That's what I like to surround myself with. And it's been awesome seeing how much you guys can pick up on that with some of the guests that I've been having. So awesome. Thank you for that, Mama Rick. Happy birthday, Wolf. I hope Wolf is watching. I haven't seen a comment yet, so maybe he isn't watching. But happy birthday, Wolf. PMK. I sincerely tried to make it the entire time. Great fun, and James was super helpful. So happy for you and everyone involved. You deserve all the success you're having. Thank you, David. Dave Todd, the Enforcer OS, says, happy birthday, Wolf. Great job on all who participated in the stream, and special thanks to all who viewed along with it. Absolutely. And you guys leaving comments all day and asking awesome questions, super helpful. And it makes it all worthwhile that you guys are tuning in and being a part of it. You guys are considered part of the family as well. Any special features on the Blu-ray planned? You know, that's something I don't know for sure yet. That's something that I'm going to be figuring out soon in the months to come. And there's a couple reasons for it. It's expensive to get Blu-rays made, but there's a couple ways that it kind of works out. I can spend the more that you get made, the cheaper they are per unit. But again, our Kickstarter, even though our Kickstarter, the funding was relatively big, the number of backers was only 260 or something like that, I believe. And not all of them got the Blu-ray in the Lochans Loot rewards package. I have not looked at what that number is of those reward tiers and higher, how many Blu-rays we need to produce. And I'm hoping that we'll sell more in the future. But the question is, how many do I make? I talked to another company that produces independent sci-fi films, and they said that every time they make a Blu-ray, it costs about $50,000. And that's to get them made, to get them authorized, to get them printed, to get them shipped. It's like a $50,000 thing. But then I asked, okay, well, is this like a really nice like special case, or is this just the regular cheap plastic ones? And they said, well, it's the regular cheap plastic ones. And I said, okay. I said, well, how many hours of extra bonus features are there? And they said, well, usually there's not that many. Okay, so it's not even a dual layer disc. It's just a straight up Blu-ray that's 2 hours and not the 4 hours where they do like the double encoding, because that costs more. It also takes more time to put that together. What about commentary? And they're like, we usually don't have that either. Okay, that's more time, that's more money that goes into it. So that's just a bare bones $50,000. And some of you might be saying, well, yeah, but you pulled in 65 from the Kickstarter. Well, 64.5 from the Kickstarter. Well, keep in mind, Kickstarter takes between them and card processing fees, they take about 10%. By the way, there's still about 20 of you that have your credit cards are pending. And if you don't get that fixed, that's going to lower the amount that we're actually getting. So it might mean that you just need to switch your card. You need to get in touch with Kickstarter and make that happen. But about 80% of you, the cards went through just fine. Thank you for that so much. In about 2 weeks, I'm told I will get the funds in and I can start ordering some of the things like the enamel pins and some of the other things that need to get manufactured. Special features on the Blu-ray. I would love to have everything and anything, or anything and everything. I would like to do it right. My whole mantra for all of this, including the way that I did the Kickstarter, is quality versus quantity. I think, especially with the initial splash, I'm not interested in, I mean, of course, the more people we can get in, and of course, the more we can raise funds, the better, of course. But my ultimate thing is just quality. I want, this is my life's work. This is my magnum opus. It's got my name attached to it. I'm mostly concerned with quality. I want this to be something that you guys are just really, really happy with. So if there is another Kickstarter, or when the second movie comes out, however this moves forward from here, you guys are excited about what happens next. And that's the only way to keep the longevity, is to keep the quality excelente. So the answer is yes, but I don't know exactly who, what, when, where, why, and how yet. Good advice, Matt. You are truly the wise one, sir. You know what? After spending all this time with the Djinn of Wisdom, I like to think that a little bit of it has passed on to me. Thank you, Mike. Well said and good advice. Thank you, Mama Rick. Just realized that I got 2% cash back because I used my Apple credit card when paying for your Kickstarter. LOL, cool. I got like 26 cash back that almost pays for that photo blanket I ordered now. Awesome. Very nice. I like it. I dig it. I keep hearing all kinds of cool things you could do with credit cards. You go with this card, you get cash back and everything else. But I should probably spend more time following that kind of stuff. But I just, in the credit cards that I have, I'm sure there's rewards and things that I could follow up on and get free magazine subscriptions and maybe get free miles for my airplane tickets. But man, I just not enough time in the world. All right, so I wanted to chat real quick. We talked about the first two swag boxes, so we are going to talk real quick about Fijis Find. Last week we revealed the new box. Of course, we've got standard Fiji, we've got inverse Kong Chiam, Red Star, Ninja Fiji, and this is the box here. It was really funny during the 24-hour live stream. There were a couple times when we had guests that I would show this image here and I would say, do you see Ninja Fiji? And they would look at it and they'd say, well, on the box. And I'd say, no, not on the box, the actual toy. Do you see the Ninja Fiji here? And they'd say, no. And then when they'd look away, I would just go to the next picture like this. And then they'd look back and they'd be like, what? And then they'd look away and then I would make it go away again. And I wasn't always successful with my magic trick, but anyway, Ninja Fiji, always hiding. One of the reveals that we had on Friday was, this is the Red Star. Red Star is 8 feet tall, and the Red Star usually has Romos, which are these lethal killing machines. They kind of look cute, make no mistake. They are lethal, but we unveiled the new Red Star minifig, which comes with a floating Romo. And the other thing that I shared on Friday was a look. This is not a finished one. This isn't the right colors. It doesn't have any of the printing on it. These are just random pieces that I had. And this was how sometimes I would have to draw Legos. Like when figuring out Fiji, I literally had to draw the pieces together. Part of it was for me, but part of it was for the company that I was working with, that I'm still working with in China. Sometimes it was easier for me to draw things to explain it than it was to even have pieces and take photos of it and send those. But this was one of the ways that I was able to figure out. You can see on the feet, in order to make this comparative to other minifigs that are kind of like 6 feet tall, but minifig size, I wanted this to be 8 feet tall, but minifig size. So you can kind of see the extra pieces on the feet to hike it up, which actually that's how this character is 8 feet tall, because it's special boots that kind of hike the person up a foot in the air, and the helmet adds another foot on top. So comparatively, it is the same, which is really cool. And then this is kind of the back of it, but this is just my own kind of thing that I put together. The Aladdin 3477 metal pin. Another unveil that we had on Friday was that one of the minifigs that you're going to get again in Fijis Find is the Hong Kong Trooper minifig, and it looks like this. I didn't have either of these figures. I didn't have the actual figures yet, but these are images of what they look like. And this is obviously very similar to the Hong Kong Trooper. There are some subtle differences. The helmet is different, and the gauntlets are different, the armored gauntlets. And obviously the paint job is completely different, but they're both police troopers, but in different countries. And you see both of them in the first film. And I talked a little bit about how putting together the schematics for how these are painted. Lochans Loot. So this is the 4th swag box. And this means you're getting stuff all year round. And this is one that a lot of people were really after, because it will come with the Blu-ray as well. It'll come with the Art of Aladdin 3477, which has all of the paintings and drawings and everything else I did to kind of design these films and bring them to life. Also, the deluxe enamel pin for Lochans Loot. It's got textured metals, and the eyes and like the 3 lights are glow in the dark. We also, was this unveiled? No, it wasn't unveiled. We showed this I believe, man, now my memory's fuzzy, but I think when we had the Gin of Wisdom on, we shared, oh no, we shared this when Paul Michael Kane was on. The Fiji, and Fiji is really cool. I love that it's got the tramp stamp printed onto the back of the jetpack. Underneath, it still has the 2 jetpack pieces, Lego style. And of course, this also comes with a thank you gift. You get the Lochans Loot mini fig. All right, racing through these because I know some of you have seen a lot of this stuff. I just wanted to kind of go over this real quick, and then we're going to dive deep, and I'm going to talk about Kickstarter secrets. Sky Sail Sky Club is not another swag box. Instead, this is 8 more rewards that are going to be dispersed into the existing 4 swag boxes. So you're still only getting 4 swag boxes a year, but if you upgrade to the deluxe rewards, you're getting all of that stuff, but now you're getting 8 more rewards into your boxes. One of those rewards is these 8 8x10 glossies. So I know it seems like, oh, this is the 8 rewards. No, this is one of the 8 rewards. It just happens to be 8 of the 8x10 glossies signed by the actors, or in the case of Fiji, that'll be signed by Steve Pankotai, who more often than not was puppeteering Fiji. Of course, we've got Princess Kamala, we've got Fiji, we've got Bredge, and again, you get to choose another shirt, one of these 5. So that means if you get the Aladdin's, if you get the Sky Sail Sky Club, you get to pick 2 shirts then, one from the Taj Mahal Treasure and one from this. It could be the same shirt. If like you wanted one for you and one for a friend, you can choose different sizes, different shirts. And of course, there are add-ons where you can get as many shirts as you want. A signed page from one of my script book binders, Aladdin 3477 additional poster signed by cast and crew. Another unveil that we had on Friday was the Umi minifig. How adorable is this? Make no mistake, though, this is not just a mysterious character, but a pretty lethal. You may have seen some of the fighting and some of the action that this character has. Although it's kind of strange here with some of the accessories that come with the Umi figure. You've got 2 different heads, one that's kind of covered up with kind of the ninja garb. You've got this this bow staff that has an Indian flag on it. She is not Indian, so you might be wondering, why is she parading that around? You just have to wait and see the film. As well, a bowl of noodles and a coin from Thailand. Also, I don't really want to talk about what that is because you're going to see it in the film. You're going to love it. And then you're going to pull out this minifig and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that is so awesome that these are the accessories that this minifig comes with. Again, I wanted to share some of the details. Look how detailed these figures are. And when you compare these figures, they're the exact same size as Legos. They fit with Lego accessories, but when you compare the detail, these are really top-notch minifigs. All right, Aladdin's Inner Circle. This is limited to 100. We did not sell out of these, but we did move quite a few. You get all 6 of the Fiji designer toys. My voice. You'll notice here there's only 5. That's because one of them we are keeping a mystery for you guys to get, for those of you that are getting all 6, like you would get in this reward tier, or there is an add-on where you can get all 6 as well. By the way, there's also a brand new add-on that I put in. If you didn't snatch it earlier last week, you'll be able to get it through the backer kit, and that is all 10 of the minifigs. If you aren't getting all 10 through the reward tiers anyway, there is an add-on where you can get all 10. If you wanted to give a friend all 10 or something like that, you would be welcome to do so. The thank you videos we started posting, we've got a few more to create. You'll always find the thank you videos on the Aladdin 3477 YouTube page. There's a whole playlist where you can see them all. There is a storyboard that comes in there, an actual hand-drawn storyboard. Also in your art books with this reward tier, you're already getting the art book, but I am going to draw Fiji inside the book, making it a truly one-of-a-kind collectible. And then, of course, this reward tier comes with the Gin of Wisdom and the Lamp of Wisdom as well. Looks just like Aaron G. It's amazing. Executive producer, these are all sold out, so you can't get none. Well, the Kickstarter is over. You can't get none anyway. But this is sold out, so you won't be able to get this through the backer kit or anything like that. However, there is the red carpet experience, and that doesn't come with any of the other rewards here, but you get to see the movie with me hanging out excuse me, in my home theater. I won't have this cough then like I have now, and we get to watch the movie, hang out in all of my studios here at home, and then we get to talk shop, and I'm going to make candy bar drinks for you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. And that is Aladdin 3477. So what I wanted to do now, I wanted to talk a little bit under the hood about the Kickstarter. I wanted to talk about what worked, what didn't. If you guys have questions, Kickstarter questions about how it works, if you've got questions about what worked specifically for the Aladdin Kickstarter, I will be completely open. I was pretty open and upfront during the excuse me, during the entire campaign anyway, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper now, and I'm going to show you how I put it together. So one of the things that was really interesting during the campaign, which I appreciated, I know it was a compliment the way that it came out, but I had so many people contacting me out of the blue. I had a lot of friends and such that contacted me and said, oh my gosh. And this is like sometimes just a week into the Kickstarter and then continually throughout the campaign, but even a weekend, bro, you are killing it with the marketing. Oh my gosh, how are you doing this? And I know it kind of seemed, and this was by design, it kind of seemed with the Kickstarter, I had something new almost every single day. And some days it was just like a new photo, a new product, a new look at a minifig. And then some days it was like, boom, the trailer, or boom, a contest, or boom, coughing, no, boom, a music video or something like that. And that was all by design. That was not like I didn't just decide the day the Kickstarter dropped, I think I'm going to do a Kickstarter today. Here it is. And now I'm doing something cool every day. This was designed, oh my gosh. First of all, I've been planning this in my mind, in my head, really since we started filming, and before that, when I did my first Kickstarter for Hollywood is Dead. So I want to share a couple secrets with you guys with how I kind of put some of these ideas together. First of all, the best advice I've ever gotten regarding a Kickstarter, and this is probably true of any crowdfunding campaign if you're considering Indiegogo or any of these other ones, the best advice I got is prepare as much as you can, and then prepare more than that, because no matter what, and I remember reading this before I did my first Kickstarter 10 years ago for Hollywood is Dead, and I remember reading someone say, no matter how much you prepare for it, once the Kickstarter begins, continually each day you'll be like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do that? Oh my gosh, what was I thinking? I totally should have had that done, because now I've got to spend time doing this thing. I could have done it before the Kickstarter. Now, instead of trying to promote and doing all this other stuff, now I'm wasting time, putting these little assets together that I could have had done ahead of time. So sure enough, when I did Hollywood is Dead, which by the way was very successful, I ended up pulling in, including people that contacted me directly, making 3 times the amount of money that I needed to manufacture and print that book, to publish it myself. Then Last year, I did another Kickstarter for Kanzari cards. Part of that was because I wanted to get familiar with Kickstarter again. That was 9 years after I did the first one, so I knew there would be some new things. That was successful as well. That was a little bit smaller. It was just for a card deck, but I ended up raising, I think that also was 6 times the amount that I was looking to be successfully funded. And that was a lower amount, but it was still 6 times over funded, which was awesome, but learned a lot. Even for that, even though I knew, and I spent, I think when I did Hollywood is Dead, I spent 2 months kind of organizing that campaign. For the Kanzari cards, I might have done less. It might have just been 1 month, but I felt like I knew what I was doing. This isn't my first rodeo. And sure enough, there were things like, oh yeah, there's a lot that I could have done ahead of time. But that was really helpful. And all along, I was doing things preparing for this Kickstarter. When exactly did I start preparing for this Kickstarter? Honestly, it was probably 10 years ago. As soon as I finished Hollywood is Dead, I knew going into Aladdin 3477, man, along the way, I kept coming up with ideas. So here is one of the secrets that really, really helped me out. This is something you can start doing today. If you've got a project and maybe maybe your project is far off and you're not ready for a Kickstarter now, but you've got an idea for a comic book and maybe you don't even have all the ideas together yet. You're just on the brink of it. And maybe a Kickstarter is still maybe a year away or even a couple years away. There is still things you can do right now. And the thing that I did that I am so glad that I did is this. This is my mystery magic box. So what this is, it holds index cards and it kind of looks like, you can hold it up close here. You can kind of see it looks like, I like it because it looks like one of those rock and roll crates, you know, like when a band goes on tour and this is holding like sound gear or something like that. These are super cute. I'm trying to think. I think I got these on Amazon and they might have been $10 or something like that. Super, super adorable. And then you open it up on the inside and I got all of these index cards. And then I also bought, I think either on eBay or on Amazon, these little index cards with tabs. I'll hold them a little closer here. In fact, maybe I should switch this screen here. You can see the little tabs. And I can't show you all of these because, I mean, you can read what the tabs are, but I can't show you all of the cards because this is actually all 3 movies. So you can see the first row of tabs is actually for the first movie, the second row for the second movie, third row for the third movie. And here's what's up. I didn't start doing this exactly 10 years ago, but like a year or two into filming Aladdin 3477, along the way, just hanging out with cast and crew, or sometimes by myself editing, inevitably we would come up with ideas. Someone would say, oh my gosh, we need to have Fiji fudge. Oh my gosh, that's a great idea. Like, wow, that's a great idea. And then you forget about it, right? And then, you know, months would go by and I'd be like, man, someone had a good idea a couple months ago. And I can't, by the way, we're not making Fiji fudge. I just completely made that up. But people would come up with ideas and I'd have my hands full with storyboards. I'd be directing a film and I'd hear, you know, great ideas. And I'd be like, man, I really need to start writing these down. So what I would do at first, before I even had this box, before I even had all of the tabs to organize everything, I got myself a deck of 5, or not 5x7. What are these? Probably 4x6, 3x5. Yeah, this is probably 3x5 index cards. What I started doing is just every time I had an idea, I didn't even have to organize it. If I had an idea for a contest, one day this is going to be great. If I had an idea for a music video, this is going to be so much fun. I'd write it down and I would just put it in my pile of ideas later for another day. I'm so glad that I did, because when it came time, when I finally sat down and said, all right, Aladdin 3477 Kickstarter, I am ready for the ideas. Here we go. If I didn't have all these index cards, I would be like, my gosh, I know there's been hundreds of ideas, but man, where do I start? Wait, I think there was going to be contests, but oh my gosh, what were the ideas, right? Because you compartmentalize and you forget things, but when you write things down, if you can keep them in a place, some people would say, what about writing them in a sketchbook? You could, but all kinds of stuff get written in your sketchbook, and then you've got to go back and find them. Unless you have a sketchbook specifically for your Kickstarter ideas, then that would be easy because you're not putting other stuff in that sketchbook. What I like about the I have here. What I like about the, I'm going to pull some of these out to share with you. What I like about these 5x7 index cards is you can later put them in any order that you want. So when it came time to getting my Magic Pandora's box right here, when it came time to going through these index cards, I was able to kind of look at something and say, this right here, this would be, okay, this will be for movie number 1. This, you know what, this, I mean, I think it'd be cool for movie number 1, but no one's going to know these characters yet. So this would maybe make sense right before the second film. Or there are things, the way I have this organized, this will be cool, not leading into the second film, but like right before the second film drops. That's when this should happen. That's kind of how I have all of these tabs organized for when everything occurs. There are things before the Kickstarter. There are things during the Kickstarter. There are things after the Kickstarter. There are things right before the first film is released, during the release, a little bit after. There's a second promotional thing, if this is in theaters or if this is streaming first. If there's another campaign leading into the Blu-ray, again, a lot of this is kind of up in the air, but I have all of these different things that are kind of organized by the time that it would make the most sense to release them. So there are things like, and some of these you might not understand what they are, but I understand what they are. So right here, I have 5 days, and then I have Roman numeral number 1, which means the first film. So 5 days, what I wanted to have, and at this time, I didn't know exactly what it would be yet, but I wanted to have the 5 days leading into the Kickstarter, because I've been real cryptic and I haven't been showing, excuse me, as much Aladdin 3477 leading into the Kickstarter, rather than just dropping the Kickstarter and like, oh my gosh, what is this? I thought it might help a little bit of hype if I had 5 days before. What my original idea was going to be, it was just going to be a giant number 5. And then in the number 5, you would see kind of a reflection of Lochans Loot. Then number 4, it'd be a giant 4. And then maybe, I don't know, Umi or something like that. And then 3 would be Fiji, and then Princess Kamala, and then Aladdin. But it was just going to be these giant numbers. As I got closer to the release of that, I was kind of running out of time, and I knew I wanted to do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing. But what I realized is I had all of these teaser images already, and some of them I had previously shared, some of them I hadn't, but I had these silhouettes of these characters, and I thought, you know what, that would really be cool if I had, if I was able to show these, and then in the middle of the character, then have a new number for each day counting down, and not say what it was. Some people already knew, like kind of leading in, oh, this is for the Kickstarter, but some people didn't. And what is this counting down to? And it kind of made it exciting. And there was definitely a nice big splash. So that was something right here. What else do I have in these cards? Here's a card right here. Matt Busch breaks down the teaser trailer for Aladdin 3477, or it ended up just being the movie trailer for Aladdin 3477. I can tell you, when I wrote this card down, when I got this idea, I got the idea to do this actually pretty recently. A lot of you have probably, seen butterbeer. Butterscotch beer. It's a knockoff Harry Potter stuff for those of you just joining in. Sandman on Netflix, the recent show, which I thought was really good. I wasn't sure if we would ever get a Sandman movie, which it would be hard to do a single movie. So I was glad it was a show, and I was glad that it was done well. I am a Sandman fan. Man, that was like, what I don't know if that was my favorite comic, but it was definitely one of my favorite comics, and I read all of them um, in the 90s and maybe into the early 2000s. But anyway, it was really neat. I remember on YouTube there was a video, and it might have been through GQ or it might have even been through Netflix, but it was Neil Gaiman breaks down the trailer or breaks down. It was either it might have been the trailer. So it was right before the series came out, and he was kind of going shot by shot and talking a little bit about what we were seeing and not spoiling anything, but kind of just talking about some of the highlights in the trailer. And I was so interested in that because I was, again, such a fan of Sandman and Neil Gaiman. So that was kind of like, oh my gosh, duh, I should probably have something like this shortly after the trailer is released. So I did. Originally, I was going to make it nice and polished, but I started running out of time. So I ended up doing a live one and then having kind of similar to what I do on the live stream lounge. I had kind of a slideshow that I went through. And that was just quicker for me to put together and then put more of my time where it was needed. But that was where I got this idea. I was writing down, there should be a thing where I talk about the official collector's edition. This is where I wrote down, it was recreate my trailer, the first contest, which is why it says 1A. Tomorrow, I don't know if I had something that said tomorrow, and it was, let's see what else. Some of these things I ended up not doing. This is ask for trailer reactions. So this isn't something that you guys saw, but this was me hitting up cast and crew. Oh, and I did, this was also for you guys because I was asking people, listen, the movie trailer's coming out. It would be amazing if you guys could film yourself watching this for the first time. And so it was really neat to see some people do that, but also some cast and crew, even some of the extras in the film made trailer reactions, which was awesome. Thank you for that. And in addition to just watching the trailer, and that's exciting, it's also really cool to watch other people's reaction. Anyway, so there's all kinds of fun things you can see right here. This is when I wrote down my idea, draw Aladdin in your style. So these are all my ideas, and I put these in the back now because I'm done with them. And now look at this. There is so much more in store for the rest of movie number 1, 2, and 3. And I keep coming up with ideas. So every time I have a new idea, I write it down, and then I can, like, when would be a good time to drop that idea or drop that video or release that contest, whatever it is, I've got them in my magic box. And that is so I don't forget them. It helps out so much. So that is my secret box. I have more secrets to unveil, by the way. But before I do, let's talk to some of y'all. So Sullen Mars says, hey, I want to offer promotion to your channel. So this is maybe an AI bot, or this is, it's from Twitch. What do you think the next Kickstarter will be? And do you have any idea when you will release it? I don't. My focus right now is to focus on the first Kickstarter, getting your rewards out. I'm also my mission right now is I desperately want to make sure that the first reward tier goes out ASAP. I don't want that to be late. I want you guys to get that soon. I'm really confident that the second one is going to be absolutely on time. The third one's going to be absolutely on time. Fourth one should be. The first one, because we're so close, any little thing that kind of pushes something back a week might push other things back and other things back. And so my hope is that everything does ship in April and get to you guys in April. I also have a vacation that was planned way back on my birthday in September. My girlfriend got me. This is so amazing. A Mediterranean cruise that we are going on, and that's in the middle of April. So I would love to have everything kind of done before that, or set up so that as soon as I come back from that cruise, everything can start to ship out. But I'll be keeping you guys posted as we get closer to that. So you know what? Will there be more Kickstarters? I would think there will be, but I don't know yet if they will be for there'll be another Kickstarter for movie number 2 and another one for movie number 3. This Kickstarter was kind of for all 3 films, was the idea, just to kind of get them kickstarted. There might be more Kickstarters, but they might be for like a comic book, or it might be for an Aladdin 3477 video game. I don't know. I'm just kind of, there's a lot that can happen between now and then. But my focus right now is the Kickstarter, and also to start talking with distributors, to start lining up potential film festivals, film markets. Do I go that route? Do I, once all of my executive producers and my red carpet experience add-on backers, once they have all seen the film, do I take it on the road? Do I take it on tour from city to city and have really cool venues that we fill where people can come out, see the film, and meet cast and crew? Is that something that happens this summer? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe that's maybe we go on tour like a rock band or something like that. There's so many different ways that we could do this. And it's a lot to chew on, and we'll be talking about it. Maybe you guys have some ideas, but for now, it's Kickstarter number 1. My brain is just really focused on that because I want to make sure you guys are happy and that my backers feel like everything is rocking and rolling. All right, then. Keep your secrets, Frodo. That's right. Still waiting for a Fiji plushie. You know what? That is something. I'm glad you brought that up. That is something in the next week or 2. I have a couple hidden items that I haven't announced yet on purpose because I want there to be some surprises, but also I have some flexibility. There was such a good response to the Fiji plushie that I'm starting to wonder now, like, gosh, maybe I should trade something else out that I haven't promised you guys yet. That's still a mystery. And maybe I should trade that for a Fiji plushie. If that's something you guys want, keep reminding me of that. That might need to happen because you guys seem pretty excited about that. I like that. Yes, a Fiji plush would be cool. All right. I still think it'd be fun to have a mini backpack that looks like Fiji's jetpack. I agree. And gosh, and with the design you did, that would be so cool. I don't know if it would be in the cards for this Kickstarter in the future. Oh yeah, it's going to happen. Maybe if there's something leading into the second film or something like that. It's a must. Even with index cards, I'd probably still be a mess if I had to make my own Kickstarter. It's actually easier than you think. And Kickstarter, I have to give props. The way that they organize things and the way that they kind of lead you through step by step, it's actually a lot easier than you might think. You would just want to give yourself plenty of time ahead of time. Don't lock yourself into, I'm going to make a Kickstarter now and I'm going to release it next month. Give yourself some time, start to build it, put it together. When you feel like you're a little bit closer to pulling the trigger, that's when you can start to say, okay, I'm going to have it be this day, and kind of keep moving forward like so. I'm definitely going to have a 3477 shelf in my movie room and all the merch and figures. Can't wait. Awesome. That is amazing. Oh my gosh. And please, you're going to have to take photos of that so that I can share on all my socials. That is super cool. And we'll have to compare because I already have a shelf in my movie room, although I think it's got some props that are kind of spoiler right now. But I should share that soon. Never doubt the plushies. All right. You guys are talking me into it. Dave Todd said, James, you might have to swap out the full-size Noodle Master windsock guy. Yeah, so you're running the risk, James. If I do the Fiji plushie, you never know what it might be swapping out for. I'd buy a Fiji jetpack backpack. Yeah, I think it's something that's going to happen soon. It's just that's a higher priced item that I don't think with the money we got in, I don't think I can swap. For example, if there's a pencil that says Aladdin 3477 on the side, that's not one of the rewards. But if there was a pencil and it says Aladdin 3477 on the side, I can't swap that out for a Fiji plushie because pencils with a logo on the side are very, very cheap to make. Fiji plushies are not very cheap to make. But super fun. Coffee mugs that look like lamps. Oh my gosh. Or maybe lamps that are like gravy, because, you know, gravy things, or tea kettles or something like that. Interesting. I like that. That would be so cool, Brittany. I agree. Lamp mugs and jet backpacks, both brilliant. Yeah, I would agree. Fiji plush would be okay. I would not switch it out for this one, but maybe another Kickstarter. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to look at what some of the other rewards are. It also depends on the swag box, because each swag box, I believe, is going to be, well, for sure, 3 of them are going to be different sizes. The 4th one might be a different size as well. And there are certain rewards that do not fit in other swag boxes. So, for example, the second swag box is actually a tube that can hold a movie poster. Now, not all of the rewards in the second swag box are posters, although there are a couple prints, there are a couple art prints in there. There are also some items that will fit in that tube that will not damage the posters and prints on the inside. There's a couple minifigs that come in these plastic things like this. So if this is rolling around on the inside, this is not going to damage your posters or art prints on the inside. This will go in the tube very easily. But not only will a heavy book like the art book isn't going to fit in the tube anyway, but also you wouldn't want a heavy book to be rolling around next to like a rolled print because it would completely smash it. So there are certain rewards by design, the way that I kind of arranged all 4 of these swag boxes. They're kind of arranged for what will fit and what will ship easily with the other items in them. So that's kind of a big question, is how big do I make the plushie? Do I make it like a 7-inch plushie? Do I make it a 5-inch plushie? And the price point for making them isn't always that different. Shipping is different because of size and weight. Also, if it's a smaller one, it might fit in the second swag box inside the tube. But maybe the one that's 7 inches tall, maybe that one's big enough that when you jam it in, it just doesn't. The fact that I even said jam it in, that's probably not good for the plushie, probably not good for the prints. So these are some of the questions and some of the things I need to go through. Oh, and that's one of the things I want to share with you guys. And actually, I'm going to share that next in a second here, but let me go through a couple more of these comments really quick. David Van Dyke says, I've got a Kickstarter coming soon, and these tips are super helpful. I'm still trying to find a company to work with for printing. And if you can let me know what what exactly you're printing, I may have some feedback. Actually, I just saw, I don't have it close, but I think I saw, I backed a Kickstarter that printed a comic book and the comic book looked pretty good, the printing. I'll see if I can dig that up. Certain novelty mugs I've tried can definitely be harder to drink from. Just a heads up, Infinity Gauntlet spillage was inevitable. The other thing about mugs, if they are the heavy mugs, those are difficult too, because they're actually not difficult to print, even if it's like just a regular size mug. They're not difficult to print, and they look pretty good. They're hard to ship because you also have to have them in a special box, and you have to put them inside another box. And if you've got other items, it's heavy. So now it's making the box with the other stuff heavy on one side, and that can make it tumble out of people's hands. Or when people go to set it down, they kind of let go and it kind of flips around a little bit, and everything inside can get crushed. and it's kind of dangerous for the mug itself, let alone everything else in there. So mugs are actually kind of hard to do in a swag box kind of thing. And mugs are heavy, so that makes shipping go up quite a bit. You could always use vacuum seal the plushie. Interesting. Comic book, 100 pages total, or like a mini graphic novel. Nice. Yeah, hit me up anytime. Yeah, I'd be worried about the mugs breaking during shipping. Possible. They would be more as collectibles than useful, I think, James. And sometimes that's the thing with a lot of these collectibles. I love drinking out of my classic glasses here. Vintage Burger King and Pizza Hut glasses, but these always look great. These actually are pretty functional, but there's also a lot of collectibles that I have that are intended to be something, and I never use them for that. I just put them on the shelf just because I love them and I think they're great. There is something I wanted to I have a lot to share with you, a lot of secrets under the hood. There's something I'm going to grab. Hold on literally 10 seconds. Are you ready to time me? 10 seconds and go. And 10. Did I do it? Did I make it? Probably not. Okay. So next up, when I was designing my rewards, this is really funny. So there are pages and pages in this sketchbook of me writing down ideas for videos. And a lot of this is what ended up going into my magic box here when I started finalizing stuff. But this is random stuff. These are things I started writing down. Honestly, some of these were written down way back when we were filming, because there was a time where cast and crew was getting a little, they were losing a little bit of steam. They were bringing their A game when it came time to me saying action. But in general, everyone was working on this project that they were so excited about, telling their families about it. But I'm telling everyone, don't show people pictures. Don't share them online. We want to hit people with a wow. We need to think about marketing. And so years are going by and everyone's working on this project. When am I going to be able, when is there going to be a trailer? When's there going to be a Kickstarter? When am I going to be able to just share a link when people ask me what's going on with that Aladdin movie? And then I can tell people, go here. Right now, I can't even tell anyone anything. I get it. So there was a point actually where we came very, very close to having a Kickstarter, even though I think we were maybe 3.5 years into filming. We had 2 years left, or maybe we just had 1 year left, but everyone was kind of at the end of their rope, including me. And I was worried that maybe we might start losing people. So I was like, you know what? If we can do a Kickstarter, maybe there's enough footage to do a trailer. Maybe that'll be enough to get people excited again. Of course, the other thing, we're 4 years in, people are getting older, and people are starting to get gray in their beard. And so we've got to do the thing where you spray and make the beard look darker. Some people were gaining weight. Some people were losing weight, not to where I think you would be able to tell watching the films. But for me to do a Kickstarter meant I would at least be stopping for like 4 to 6 months to build the Kickstarter, 2 more months to do the Kickstarter. And then even if we jump right back to filming, well, now I've got to send people all the rewards. So this is like more and more and more work during filming. But I took a vote and it seemed like most people were like, yeah, let's do the Kickstarter. We need something fun. We need something to make this happen. Then something else happened where it made more sense. It was really, really obvious that we just need to finish this film. As much as people are losing steam, the most important thing is to finish the film while we can. Let's make the Kickstarter awesome. Let's make the movie trailer awesome. Let's make it so when this film is released, we are good to go. Everything is in the can. Anyway, so I have all these diagrams. This is marketing ideas. These right here, I won't show you, but these are ideas for what I was going to do for all of the designer toy Fijis. And the ones that I have left over, I have lots of ideas that I've written down for if and when we do series 2 of the designer toy Fijis. Contest ideas. Also, on this side here, I have companies written down where I was doing research for companies that make these items, and I was doing different price outs. I was making my own notes, like which ones had really good quality. Well, where is it like for price and for for quality? I was contacting these places, having them send me samples. Sometimes those samples are free. Sometimes you have to pay to have those samples sent from China. All kinds of research that I've been doing for years leading up into this. Then this was my master. And again, I'm not going to show you guys too much of what this says, so don't pinch and zoom on the screen. This was actually how I organized all of my rewards and the add-ons. And for a while, I was going to do stretch goals, and then maybe we'll talk about that later. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. I decided to switch to thank you gifts instead of stretch goals. That's a whole nother topic. So, well, oh no, one of these came off. Where did this one go? Oh, this was definitely over here. Must have fallen off. But this is it. And they're color coded for different things. And then these are all columns for all of the different reward tiers and stretch goals, all these little Post-it notes. And I had to put tape on them once I had them locked because the Post-it notes kept falling off. Anyway, okay, that's how I organize these. Oh, wait, there's more. So then when planning out the actual Kickstarter, and I actually had this mapped out when we were going to do a Kickstarter years ago when we were still filming. I actually made almost an identical calendar. This is the entire campaign on dates. I'll show it here a little bit easier to see. So essentially, this is the first half. This is the second half. You can see there are new things every single day. It's not just where the Post-its are. There's all kinds of stuff. But I wanted to kind of talk about some of these things, some of the things that worked, some of the things that didn't work. So you can see right here, I've kind of written down 5. Whoops, going the wrong way because I'm backwards. Looking at this 4, 3, 2, 1. This is when the Kickstarter drops. That's the Kickstarter video. This is no, Fiji is not like BB-8. That's when that video was released. Exactly 1 week later, that's when the movie poster was revealed. There was a video for that. Then draw Aladdin in your own style, which of course, whoops, doing the wrong trackpad here. Draw this in your own style. So anyway, for this Kickstarter, I had this together. Gosh, I started writing it permanently. I had like things written down. I knew that I was going to do it in January, but and I've known that for years that it would be this year. But I really started finalizing things probably 6 months before. Some of the Post-it notes, I purposely did Post-it notes so that they could be interchanged if I wanted them to. I'll tell you 2 things that did not work, that did not go over well like I thought they would. One thing that didn't go over well, the very second day, what I wanted to have on Mondays and Wednesdays was, if you don't live under a rock and if you're on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, there's this thing called Women Crush Wednesdays. And then after a while, there was Man Crush Mondays. And it's just kind of a fun thing where people share people they find attractive, whoever they have a crush on. Women are on Wednesdays, W's, and then men are on Mondays, M's. So what I thought would be neat, and you can kind of see here, I had these pink Post-its. You can see going down all of the Wednesdays. And so starting with Princess Kamala, going down all of the Wednesdays. And then also on Mondays, should have kept this up, I have this light blue, not the aqua, but the first blue here. These are all the Man Crush Mondays, and a different character each week. What I thought was cool about this is this was a neat way each week, twice a week, to kind of introduce a new character. And it's just an excuse. Why are we seeing this person today? Well, because it's Woman Crush Wednesday. It's Man Crush Monday. That did not go over well. At first, it seemed like it was kind of cool, but about 2 or 3 weeks in, it just wasn't getting any responses. It wasn't getting a lot of likes. And I think part of it, I think the thing that I didn't realize is usually when you're sharing a Man Crush Monday or, excuse me, a Women Crush Wednesday, it's usually one of two things. Usually it's a famous actor or actress, or it's a famous model or musician, someone that everyone knows, so that when you share Women Crush Wednesday, Scarlett Jo, everyone can chime in. Oh yeah, like she's maybe she's my fave, or she's in my top 10 too. Or people respond and say, Scarlett Jo, why? Right? Anyway, that did not, it just wasn't getting any responses. The other thing that people do is sometimes they share their significant other, and people leave comments on that too, hopefully saying, oh, that's so sweet. That's so nice that you would say that. Because we're like a brand new franchise, a brand new brand, and people haven't seen the movie yet. People have seen the trailer, but they haven't fallen in love with the characters yet. They haven't been on the roller coaster adventure. They haven't lived through the adventures with any of these characters. So there really isn't that feeling yet. And showing all of these new characters, I guess my headspace was in the wrong place. I just thought automatically people would be like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm attracted to this person too. Yeah. But it was just kind of brand new characters, and it was kind of falling flat, not getting a lot of likes, not getting any comments. And so about 2 weeks in, I completely abandoned the Woman Crush Wednesday and Man Crush Monday for the rest of the campaign. Just kind of an epic fail. Similar to that is birthdays. So I actually have a calendar that is not a calendar for this year, but a calendar just for all things Aladdin 3477. And I have everyone's birthday from cast and crew. Everyone's birthday is on this calendar. Also, I have a lot of landmark events. So actually, I have the first day that we released the Kickstarter, the first day that we released the trailer is on there. But I also have things like the first day we filmed with Lochans Loot. I have the first day we filmed with Fiji. I have our last day of filming. I have, trying to think what other crazy events, but I have all of these events written on, it's actually written on an Aladdin calendar, a Disney Aladdin calendar. And that way, moving into the future, if I'm ever stuck for, man, I want to just kind of keep people excited about Aladdin. What can I talk about today that isn't just like, here's a random something for Aladdin that has nothing to do with anything other than just wanted to show you something Aladdin? Well, I can go to my calendar. What happened today, but in the past? And so it's a good excuse to say, randomly, what is something that I wrote down here? Is there something here? I'm sure there is. I've got so many notes everywhere. I've got Ghost's birthday. Gosh. All kinds of things. Anyway, so I won't, but there's like I said, there's, the first time, something that was on here was the first time we started filming on the Taj Mahal throne room set, right? So there's all of these things that, so I kind of started with that. I started sharing birthdays and some of these landmark events. But again, in the first week or two, no one was responding. No one was wishing anyone happy birthday. Even cast and crew weren't wishing each other happy birthday, or they might have already wished them happy birthday, maybe on Facebook somewhere else. So then when I share it on Facebook, if they already did it, they're not going to say happy birthday again. Well, for me, it's kind of embarrassing. Like, oh my gosh, I feel horrible. I have this actor or this person in crew. It's their birthday, and I kind of plugged it on the Aladdin Facebook page or on my own and share a picture of them in the movie or something like that. Please join me in wishing them a happy birthday. And then like almost no likes and no one wishes them a happy birthday. I was like, okay, that needs to stop. I'm not gonna share that anymore for now. And again, I get it. Like now I get it. At the time, I was like, man, people are so rude. Why are they not doing this? But again, we're small potatoes right now, and people haven't seen the film. We've got fans. We're building our fan base, but we're just not to that place yet where everyone's going to chime in and like, oh, I remember that character. I love that character. You know what? Happy birthday. You were great in the film. La da 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 da. You know, so it's tough. We're not quite there yet. So there was a couple things like that where I kind of missed the mark, and things that I thought were just going to be just another cool thing each day. Some of them fell flat a little bit. Let's go to, I got more to share behind the scenes. But first, let's go to some comments. Sammy L. Jackson, hold on to your butts. That was like 5 bajillion seconds. Oh yeah, me running into the other room. 20 seconds. Yeah, I thought I'd be quicker. I got 20 seconds too. Even with the Mississippis. Oh my God, so funny. Oh, I like the idea of organizing in a sketchbook. Yeah, it was very helpful for sure. Daisy Ridley. Okay. Oh, Ryan Reynolds. All right, I see where this is going. Zendaya. All right, yeah, absolutely. Glad to see you survived the 24-hour live stream. You know what? I haven't even gone to bed yet. I am still on. This is the 72-hour live stream. What up? Everyone else has left me. They're all crashed, but I'm still in it to win it. I'm kidding, obviously. Audrey Plaza. James, have you watched season 2 of White Lotus that Aubrey's in? I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought that was really good. Sometimes you're too close to a project that you forget the rest of the world doesn't care. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's tough. It is tough. But we're going to continue to grow. And, you know, the Women Crush Wednesday, Man Crush Monday thing didn't work. Now, maybe by movie 2, that's something that I can resurrect, and maybe we'll have a little bit of, you know, a bigger fan base. We'll have more of a response, and we'll have more and more things that we can share with that, even though you want them to. Yeah. It's that said, the response overall has been amazing, and to the characters. But I also know that it's tough. Like, if I release, this was all like in the first 2 weeks. So when I'm releasing a trailer and then this other video and all this other stuff that people are leaving comments on, you know, you have to understand the headspace of someone. Then if I just leave a photo of someone like, hey, it's their birthday, or hey, Woman Crush Wednesday, if they've been commenting on like these crazy videos and all this other stuff, and then I just share like a photo, and I'm expecting that just as many people are going to be like, no way, that's an awesome photo of someone I don't know who they are. You know, it's not the same. If they've been leaving comments already, why would they also just keep leaving comments? So it's usually the big things that you're wowing people with. And I'm learning. I think it's tough to gauge exactly what's gonna hit, not just the algorithm, but what people are gonna respond to and what they are not gonna respond to. I have one more thing that I want to share with you guys, but first I have almost finished my butterbeer. I am going to grab something else to drink here. What do I want? I am going to go with a Canada Dry 0 sugar ginger ale. Ready for this? Oh, this was in a cooler. It's still got some melted ice on it. Crack it open. Cheers to everyone at home. Kickstarter, thank you so much. Rock and roll. Oh, that's good. All right. I have one more secret that I did, and that is, in addition to the flash cards, the 3x5 index cards, I cut 3x flash cards in half, and I made this. This is a little stack of all of my social media. And what my idea was going in, this was really helpful in the beginning, and it was really helpful in the end. It was not as helpful in that, well, it was helpful to understand what was working and what wasn't. So what my plan was going in was that these are all of my social media. And I'll share them with you real quick just to show you what I mean, because it's not just like YouTube and it's not just Facebook, but it's all of the different accounts. So I have, this is YouTube post. I have this written down. So this is not just sharing a video on YouTube. This is an actual post, because you can leave posts now on YouTube where you can link to a video. You can share just a photo of something on YouTube and it kind of comes up in people's feed. Excuse me. So this is a YouTube post. These are all out of order. This is a YouTube short. So not just a video that's being released. This is a short, like a less than a minute upright video. This is Instagram story, and I put Matt because this is the Matt Busch account. This is Instagram A3477 story. So this is also a story, but on the Aladdin account. TikTok for Matt. There's a TikTok for Aladdin in here somewhere, but there's Twitter for Aladdin 3477. Here's the Facebook Aladdin 3477 page. There's the YouTube for Aladdin 3477, dropping vids. YouTube for Matt Busch. This is a Kickstarter update. So this also is where you can release things, share things. So it's not just all of the socials, but something specific, because a lot of these socials do different things. This is updating the Aladdin 3477 website, which never happened once during the campaign because I was so busy. And through my research, no one was going to the website anyway. No one goes to websites anymore. So I'm considering just dropping my websites because no one goes to them. Everyone goes to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, any of that stuff. I want to keep doing websites, but they're in desperate need of updating to make them more responsive for phones. And that's time, that's money, that's hiring someone to do it, or I could learn myself. But again, that's time, taking time away from getting the movie out and getting the rewards out to you guys. So it's complicated. You have to pick and choose your battles. Facebook groups, plugging on groups. This is another secret of I don't know if this is a secret of the success, but one thing that I did do is I joined, and I didn't do this right before the Kickstarter. I started doing this about 2 years ago. I started writing down ideas. What are some good Facebook groups that I could look for? So I looked for independent filmmaking. I looked up, what else? I looked up Michigan related things like Michigan art communities and film communities. I looked up robots and 80s robots. I looked up some of the specific robots that I used and took apart and kit bashed. So a lot of what Fiji is made out of is an Omnibot 2000, but just kind of torn apart, flipped around, turned upside down with all this extra stuff on top of it. Most people would never recognize it, but if you're a huge fan of Omnibot 2000, you might, especially if you're someone that refurbishes them and takes them apart, fixes the motors on the inside and puts them back together, then you would probably recognize it. But otherwise, they might not. Anyway, adding these groups, because once I start dropping things, these are people that might really be interested in it. And I wanted to add them ahead of time, so I wasn't just like out of nowhere kind of chiming in, hey, what's up? Out of nowhere, come check out my Kickstarter. So I started adding these groups 2 years ago, but especially like a year ago. And then that way they would come up in my feed. So whenever I was browsing Facebook, something for the Omnibot 2000 community would come up and I would leave comments like, hey, that looks really cool. So I wasn't like just someone out of the blue that's just like promoting something. People like kind of were familiar with seeing my name and responding and everything. Kit bashing groups was another one. But anyway, Facebook groups, Twitch, Instagram Reels for the Aladdin 3477 page, TikTok for Aladdin, Instagram Reels for Matt, Instagram Post, which is different than a reel, Twitter for Matt Busch, texting peeps, like simply just texting people, hey, the Kickstarter's up. Hey, did you see this new video? Nextdoor app, which is like my subdivision and the surrounding subdivision apps. This is something I posted probably 3 times. I thought this was going to go through the roof. This fell flat. This did not work like I thought it would. If you make a post that someone broke into your car or that some rascally kids were doing something, then you'll get a lot of feedback. But for some reason, no one cares about a passion project that took you 3 years to make and that you filmed in your backyard. Facebook profile, LinkedIn, Instagram post, an update for the Kickstarter for Kanzari cards. And even though a lot of people that are into Kanzari cards might not be into Aladdin, they are familiar with Kickstarter. Some of them might be interested, take a peek, and some of them might back the project. Also an update for Hollywood is Dead. So I not only sent one of these out right when the Kickstarter began, I also sent one of these out in the last week. Hey, if you haven't checked it out yet, there's only a couple days left. Email newsletter, emailing cast and crew, and then this is just a Facebook post on, this is the Matt Busch page, which is like my pro page. These are all the different social things. So on the very first day, I just had this deck and I was like, all right, boom, the Kickstarter's unveiled. It's also got a video that I put on excuse me, on YouTube and then on Facebook. I had this stack and I said, let's go one by one. And I started going one by one. Okay, Facebook groups, I need to hit them all up. And that took probably 2 hours going through the Facebook groups. But then TikTok. All right, I'm going to make a TikTok right now. Then Instagram for Aladdin 3477. Boom, let's go. Let's do it. And I think on the first day, I went through this entire deck. There's a couple things I didn't do. Like I said, the websites I never updated. And there was a couple things that just started falling flat. Early on, I could kind of tell what was working, what was giving me steam, and what was not working. Twitch was not working very well for me. So as the Kickstarter was moving along, it got to a point where anytime I was doing something on Twitch, it was just kind of a waste. It wasn't, my time was better spent somewhere else. So I kind of stopped with that. But this was very helpful because otherwise, sometimes when you release something, it's like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And if you don't have a little deck like this ready to go, it's like, well, Instagram, okay, you do that, but then you might forget about Twitter or you might forget about this other LinkedIn or whatever. So this was helpful at first, although I kind of stopped using it a little of the way through. But then it was helpful during the last week to kind of go through and hit some of the places that even if I wasn't getting a lot of steam, to kind of hit them up one more time and say, hey, remember me? I got this thing. It's almost over. Last chance. All right. James THL Polony says, I go to websites all the time. Linktree and Flow page help with that. You know, that's true. That is true. And I need to get that updated, but it's on my list. It is on my list. Just a bunch of boomers watching each other's lawns on Nextdoor. My dad's on that a lot. Yeah. That's funny. A bunch of boomers. Yeah. Maybe they use Nextdoor to know when to cut their lawns while filming. Yeah, you know what? I actually, one of the thing that gave me the idea, I remember someone else sharing because I'm on Nextdoor, but I'm not on there often. I get like email things of like, you know, when something big is going on, like I'll get a reminder, hey, people are talking about this a lot. One of the things that I got is there was someone that was I think they were making their own comic book. Maybe not in my sub, but one of the surrounding subs. And a lot of people responded to it. And I remember I went there and I checked it out, and I mean, it wasn't very good, but I think it was a younger kid, but they were doing it. They were making their own comic book, which was really cool. And a lot of people were responding like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good! You're doing it. You're living your dream. That's, you know, it's motivating. Awesome. Let us know when it's here. We'll support it." And da da da. And I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh." I need to do that for Aladdin 3477. The other angle that I took is there actually were some neighbors that came over and were extras in some of the scenes that we filmed in my backyard. So there was that. Hey, some of you were either here or you might have heard the commotion. Maybe you saw with it when we were filming something, you saw all the tarps over half the house, and maybe you heard me yelling action, or you heard, you know, fake fighting going on or whatever. This is the film. And even if people didn't hear that, it's like, oh, there was a movie being made. What? And then they check it out. Nothing. Did not go over that well at all. That dot card, oh yeah, with your site got huge traffic from all the people that were more willing to check out your tree rather than one specific site. Awesome. And thank you so much for that, James. Twitch has gone downhill heavily over the past couple years. Well, I think there are ways to use it, and there are things that work well. Obviously, a lot of people use it for gaming. People have told me so many times over the years that I would do really well on Twitch. And my response was always, yeah, but mine has nothing to do with gaming. And their response was, that's why you would do so well, because you're not just another game. You would kind of be out of nowhere with this new thing. I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense. And I've heard stories from a lot of friends that, like, you know, in a month, if you hit it hard, in a month, you'll have like 20,000 followers and stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's huge. That's amazing. But I was not getting responses very well at all. Part of it might have been I should have started Twitch years ago, and I should have started it maybe with You Can Draw Star Wars and putting up some of those videos, and maybe hitting up my Star Wars audience there a little bit more. And maybe same thing with Discord, which we were a little bit late on the game on that. But we have a new Discord that I will talk about coming up real quick. So, remember when some lady walked on set? That rings a bell, but Mike, I don't even remember. I don't even know. I don't even remember exactly when that was. It might be, I think we have a scene that we filmed where we have an extra, and when I was putting together the credits, I'm going through, I have all of the contracts organized, and I'm going through, okay, I know who this person is, I have their contract, cool. And there is a lady who I don't know who it is, who is an extra, and she was great. But I don't have a contract for this person. I don't know what their name is. I don't know what to put in the credits. And I'm like, oh my gosh, who is this person? And I've hit up some of the other producers, all of the other cast and crew that were there for that scene. No one knows who this person is. And I'm wondering, maybe that's the person that just walked on and, what's going on here? Oh yeah, are you here to be an extra? Why, yes, I am. Absolutely. And then maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure what happened with that. But Twitch has been subverted by softcore cam girls who promote their OnlyFans by streaming in hot tubs. Oh, yeah, that probably makes sense. I think YouTube is your best bet, especially because you post on how-to videos and other work great. And my YouTube has grown awesome since Aladdin. I was under 10,000. I think now I'm at 11 and a half, I think, if I'm not mistaken, which is awesome. Maybe it was a ghost. It's certainly possible. Certainly possible. Anyway, I wanted to just kind of follow up real quick on a little bit more of the Kickstarter, kind of behind the scenes. I talked a little bit about this on Friday, and that was the way that I kind of designed the Kickstarter is to have all of these exciting things, the recreate the trailer contest, which by the way, they are all on the Aladdin 3477 YouTube page. There is a playlist. It's the second one down that shows all of those. The one jump ahead music video, which a lot of people loved. There's a draw this in your own style contest happening right now. I have some new Fijis to share. I didn't have time to get a brand new in putting together these live streams, getting all of these images that like I'm putting up on the screen now. This isn't something that I can just snap a finger and then magically whatever I want to appear appears. I have to build it ahead of time, and it's not difficult, but it is a process. I have to gather all of the images. I have to put them into a folder. I have to open them in preview. I have to order them how I want the order to be. Then I have to print them, but not actually print them. I have to export them as a PDF. Then I have to make all the changes so that they're not sideways and like the sizing and everything. I have to save it as a PDF. Then I have to open it up as a PDF. I have to resave it again as a smaller file size so that it's not too large. Then I have to email it to myself because I need it to be on this laptop. Then I have to come over to this laptop. I have to upload it. Then I have to I have to download it. Then I have to upload it again into StreamYard. This is a process and it's not difficult, but man, it just for every week that I do it, I usually do it a couple days ahead of time because it's not fun right before going on, like an hour before. Oh my gosh, I got to get, oh, it's taking longer. They're not in the right order. Blah, blah, blah. I like kind of in the middle of the week, kind of getting it all together. Okay, here's what it is. This is kind of how the show is going to roll. Got it together. I get it all set up, ready to go. That way, on the day of the live stream, and especially right before the live stream, there's no snafus. I'm not running behind. I can just start the live stream and be chillax. That's what the live stream lounge is, right? And just kind of go to work. Anyway, there's another week and a half on this contest. I'll be sharing more of the awesome Fijis you guys have been doing next week. I'll be talking real soon about what next week is, but these are due in a week and a half, maybe a little bit more than a week and a half on March 16th. We dropped the behind the scenes video last week. That was really cool. So the Kickstarter campaign overall, it's a win. It did so good. Thank you guys so much. I shared this on Friday, and this is kind of a look at the maybe I shared it last week, so I won't talk about it too long, but you can kind of see here, like every Kickstarter, it flatlines in the middle, and I was hoping that a lot of the fun things that I released throughout the Kickstarter would give it a bunch of spikes. And even though it helped raise the hype and it kept everyone like excited about everything, it didn't actually raise funding. People that were excited about it had already backed the project, and it wasn't really it was all these things were blowing up on YouTube, but they weren't translating into new Kickstarter backers. So I signed with a company that wasn't cheap, but they're a really reputable company. And they've got kind of a science behind how they do AdSense on Facebook and Google. So you can see for the 2 weeks that I started working with them, out of nowhere, you can see that it starts to move up. And this cost hundreds of dollars a day, about $400 or $500. And then that's when, after the first 2 weeks, they've got the science down. They know exactly what's working and what isn't working. That's when they pull the big guns, and it's like $1,000 a day, but it's guaranteed. You can see the way that curve is going. They were pretty much guaranteeing that at the end of this, it would probably be at least 200,000. Well, you can see where it flatlines again. That's when I ran out of money, and I didn't know I was going to run out of money, but all my credit cards were maxed and everything's fine. This is not a boohoo story for me. I'm just always in it to win it, and anything I can do, full guns a-blazing. I just wanted the initial splash for Aladdin 3477 to be amazing. I probably won't be this crazy and reckless with funds for any other Kickstarter or the other two movies, but because I knew this was the first splash, the first time that people were going to see this, I wanted to go all in. All my chips were in, and I just wanted to do it. Unfortunately, I didn't realize I didn't know that they were the snafu was that this company told me they were going to spend a couple $100 a day. Well, to me, a couple $100 is $200, but really those days were like 400 or 500. And so they were using 2 or 3 times as much as I thought they were. And I was so busy doing everything else and also not monitoring my credit cards, also busy manufacturing toys like this. So, yeah, it was not an epic fail, but what could have been, right? But yeah, it is what it is. And it is all good. I'm super happy with how everything worked out. There is a Discord. I actually just sent a another update, a Kickstarter update to backers, and that has a link to the Discord. If you're on Discord, check it out. Lots of fun discussions happening over there. All right, next week there is another live stream lounge, and we are going to change it up a little bit. Now, listen, I'll always be sharing the latest and greatest with Aladdin, any new announcements, any new toys in the coming weeks. I'm going to have a lot of new minifigs in person that I'll be able to show you exactly what the minifigs look like. We'll also have some new reveals. I'll be revealing what some of the new Kickstarter rewards are that you don't know what they are yet. So I might be showing some sneak peeks with that. Also, any announcements, this is where you're going to hear them first. So stay tuned for all of that. But also, I'm going to continue to have special guests on starting next week. So a lot of times, yeah, it'll be Aladdin 3477 people, but also I'm going to have a lot of artists, a lot of other filmmakers, a lot of other guests that I think you guys will find inspiring. My whole thing with this live stream lounge, what I always wanted it to be, wasn't just a vehicle for promoting Aladdin. I know it kind of seems like that's exactly kind of what it became in the past 2 months. But my idea behind it was a place where we can hang out on Sunday nights and we can talk creativity and careers is kind of the big thing that I think is very interesting that we can always chat about. So I want to have a lot of special guests. Coming up in the future, I have a special guest that draws a lot of Marvel comics, and not just comics you've never heard of. We're talking Spider-Man, Deadpool, Avengers. Oh yeah, hanging out here with me. You may have seen this guest in some of the Matt's class videos and some of the sketchbook challenge videos, but hanging out live, taking questions. I have another special guest, Phil Stone, who is one of the artists on Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. So having really cool guests, if you're an artist, if you're a filmmaker, if you're someone that has a dream of doing what you love and getting paid for it, this is going to be kind of the, I mean, it's kind of like a podcast, but it's just kind of a hangout where we're going to hang out every Sunday night and we are going to chat about it. Next week, actually the next 2 weeks, I have 2 artists coming in, one each Sunday. The first is Derek Von Ecker, who is an incredible artist. I can't wait to have him on. I haven't seen him in a long time, but I know we're going to have some good laughs, and it's going to be a great time. The following week is Marcus Kacernikis, and here is the cool thing. Wait until you hear this idea. So everyone, the hot topic right now, oh my gosh, out of nowhere, even though we've been using AI for, the last 20 years. And if you use Photoshop, I hate to break it to you, you've been using AI for the last 15 years. If you're in music and you use Pro Tools, guess what? You're using AI. But listen, I am not pro AI. I am not someone, I have some thoughts about it that are a little bit different than what a lot of artists are saying. A lot of artists are against it. You've got some that are like, it's a new tool and everything else. We'll get into it. This is what we're going to be talking about the next 2 weeks. Here is the thing that I cannot wait to chat with you guys about. By the way, the live stream lounge, I'm going to close this slide down. Sunday nights, always at 9 p.m. I cannot wait to tell you about what's happening here. So both Derek Ecker and Marcus Kacernikis, they have an art show, an art event coming up. And I believe there might be around 20 artists that are participating. It's a one-night show. wait until you hear this. For those of you that are into the hot topic of AI, here's what the show is. Each artist, these are human artists, not AI. Each artist is going to get a series of words, a word prompt, if you will. Based on that word prompt, they have to create a piece of art as best as they can. And I think they had maybe a month or two to do it, perhaps. Don't take it from me. We'll be talking to Derek next week about this. And we'll be talking to Derek before this event happens. So each one of these artists gets a word prompt, and they have to create art. What they know, but what they don't know, is that there is going to be an additional piece of art hanging up right next to theirs that was created by AI. They know that, but they don't know what the art looks like yet. Also, when these pieces are hung up, you are not going to know, or at least it's not going to be listed, which one was created by a real person, which one was created by AI. So as a spectator, this is going to be so juicy conversation. This is going to be so interesting. What's going to happen? What are people going to think when they go in? They're going to see the same word prompts from a human being and also from AI. Do you like the real artist better? Do you like the AI art better? Now, you might be able to tell right away, maybe this painting looks good, but you can tell, wow, there's 7 fingers on that hand. Okay, obviously this is the AI one or whatever. But aside from that, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? So obviously this is a huge conversation that we're going to have next week, but oh my gosh, so fascinating. So we're going to have Derek on next week. The show is happening in between that Sunday and the following Sunday. The following Sunday, we are going to have Marcus Kacernicus in, also an incredible artist, an incredible musician. I can't wait to have, I also haven't seen him in a long time. He's super cool. And I actually just saw his artwork recently when I was at Epcot last year. We're going to talk about that. But he is kind of co-curating the show. So what's going to be neat, we're going to talk to Derek before the show and kind of how it's all coming together. I'm hoping I can make it to the show. And then the following Sunday after the show, we're going to talk to Marcus. How did it go down? What were the results? Oh my gosh. Juicy conversation for the next 2 weeks. You got to be here for the live stream lounge. Man, that is going to be, it's going to be juicy. That is going to be juicy. Can't wait. So anyway, we'll be hanging out with Derek, and then we'll be hanging out with Marcus. And then I got some other fun things planned for the weeks to come. This is for the weeks to come. Let me check out some comments really quick. You could always try Picarto, which is like Twitch, but for artists to stream, interesting. I may have to give that a whirl. LOL, like me. I remember Derek. Yeah, Derek Ecker. It might be, he's Derek Ecker on Facebook, but he's Derek Von Ecker on Instagram. So I don't know if that's his artist name, because I think he signs a lot of his work, Von Ecker. We're going to find out when we hang out with Derek next week. Cannot wait. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. It has been a blast. I'm actually kind of tired, so I think I might hit the sack. I got a lot to do this week. There's a new Kickstarter update for you backers. If you haven't seen it yet, check your email or check the updates on Kickstarter. I'll be getting the backer kit together really soon, which is going to send out a survey. That's where you choose what shirts you want, what size, all that fun stuff. And make sure your credit card has gone through. There's about 20% of you where it's still pending. That means your credit card is not working. Maybe when you back the Kickstarter, maybe you had the funds in there. Maybe now you don't. You might need to add a new one or put some money from your bank in so that your credit card works. But if you don't get that together in the next week, you are going to miss out on the reward. So please try to get that together this week if you can. Barring that, it is time for me to bid you guys adieu. Thank you for hanging out with me on this Sunday. I will see you guys next week hanging out with Derek Ecker.